2.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Happy podcast. It's your host, Ethan Klein. Come to you very happy and satisfied and tired. Your host, Ethan Klein, here today. Today's sponsors are Quip and Hims. Thank you very much. Today is a special episode. I popped in just to, I wanted to keep everyone updated. I want to tell the story when it's fresh in my mind. And I think it's a beautiful story. And I want to have tons of pictures, I have tons of videos. And I want to just talk about this experience with you guys. Hila had the baby, obviously. He's happy, he's healthy, he's beautiful. Hila's a goddess. She just absolutely crushed childbirth. Her body is like a transformer, into like this incredible baby yielding body. Like, I got to be honest with you guys. I was worried that childbirth was going to be extremely hard on Hila because she's super thin and she's very petite, very small, very skinny. And so I wasn't sure how she was going to get that baby out of there, to be frank with you guys. I wasn't sure how a baby was going to get out of there. But her body, she is a little transformer. Her body became this incredible super mom. And it turns out she is not only good she's like has this an ultimate body that the nurses and the doctors and everyone was like blown away by how well she's handled this. Like, for example, Hila started going into labor on the 3rd, or actually no, started going to labor at about 12 a.m. on the 4th. Theodore was born on the 4th at 9:02 p.m. So she was in labor for wait, it was the day before.
Right, you're saying midnight the night before, and then the baby was delivered at 9 p.m. the following day?
No. It was the same day. So she was in labor for almost 24 hours because 10, 11, 12. So she was in labor for 19 hours. Yeah, that makes sense. So she started having contractions around 12 o'clock on the 4th, and they didn't go away, That's how you know that when you're in labor, when you have nonstop contractions and they don't go away, and there's very little duration between them. So she's like, I'm having contractions nonstop. But she was handling the pain very well. So luckily we were able to stay home for a long, long time before, because they say that you want to stay at home for as long as possible before you go to the hospital. One reason being that hospitals often will turn women away because they're not far along enough in labor. They'll say, go home and come back. Or they'll just make you walk around the hospital for a long time until your labor progresses enough. And so we wanted to avoid that, and they want to avoid that. So we stayed at home as long as you can. And the rule is that, if the pain is manageable and basically you feel that you can stay at home long enough, then you should. So that went on until about 5 a.m. Hila fell asleep, okay, and while she was in labor. She just drifted off, and I was thinking, like, all right, well, I was keeping an eye on her because I didn't want to fall asleep, but she fell asleep. She'd been asleep for like an hour or two, so I was like, maybe it's not happening, maybe it's fine, so I fall asleep too. And then around 5 a.m., I feel like scratching on my head. I think like, oh, Hila's giving me a head rub or something. I was like, oh, how nice. And I wake up and she's looking at me. She's like, Ethan, we gotta go. I think it's time. I was like, shit, that's not a head rub. That's a wake the fuck up. And I've been getting a lot of those, by the way, in the past 24 hours. Every time I wake up now, it's like a 10 on the chaos scale. The baby screaming or Hila screaming, help! It's always a 10 on the chaos scale. The only way I wake up now is like this. because you sleep so deep. Because I'm so sleep deprived. I have like 3 or 4 hours of sleep since he was born, a day, and so now it's like the deepest sleep imaginable. I wake. Where was I? So she's scratching on my head. It's 5 a.m. I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I start gathering our things, putting everything together, putting it in the car, getting ready. I call my parents to come get Shredder, who had a fantastic time. He had the best time ever with his grandparents. God bless him. And so we're just chilling. I pack everything up and we're chilling. And Hila's able to wait until about another 2 hours till 7 a.m. And she's like, all right, let's go. We drive to the hospital. We get to, the baby and deliveries or whatever section of the hospital. Kaiser, by the way, we did it with Kaiser, and they were so amazing. I have to say, if there's anybody out there who is expecting or wants to have children, I don't know if Kaiser's a California thing or a national thing, but Kaiser Permanente is, man, so good. I was happy with every single aspect of their care. But anyway, we get in, we check in, and they're basically, first they put her in a room to see how far along she is, to see if they can admit her or not. And so they check her cervix, which is like the opening, like all the way up the vagina. And basically, you go from 0 to like 10 centimeters is fully dilated. And that's where kind of the baby drops down from. And so they check it, and she was 6 centimeters when she checked in, which if you know anything about baby yielding, that's incredible. That's like she's almost there. And for a first-time birth, that's because first-time births can go like 24, 48, 36 hours. It can just be a grueling marathon. But she came in 6 centimeters, which was just incredible. And then there's this other thing about like effaced, which I guess is, I really don't understand it, but it's like there's some kind of blockage that needs to soften up. And so she was 90% effaced out of 100. So she was like, all the doctors were like, this is your first child? I can't believe it. I cannot believe you're at 6 centimeters when you came in. And she was so casual about it. She was handling it so gracefully. You can see there's this crazy, they put all these plugs on her. And one measures the baby's heartbeat, and then one measures her contractions. It's really cool. And you can see it on the screen. You can see her contractions coming in waves, and you can see how like intense they are. So you can kind of see it as she's feeling it. And these, when you're 6 centimeters dilated, that's like a 7, 8, 9 on the pain scale for most women. And they were like just floored by how well she was tolerating it. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't, even complaining. She was just silently. I call her a silent sufferer because she's such a champ. She doesn't complain. She doesn't like to complain about anything. She's sitting there, with these 6 centimeter contractions, not complaining, not screaming, not making any noise. The doctor's like, what is going on with this superhuman? I said, you're a silent sufferer. I'm a very loud sufferer. If I was switched places with you, everybody in this hospital would know how much pain I'm in right now. I actually have a video of, I've got a bunch of videos and pictures and stuff. I guess I'm getting to the part with the first video here. So we're in that room. There's 2 rooms that we were in. The first, so anyway, they saw she was super dilated, and they're like, oh yeah, you're admitted. You're good. So we're in this kind of waiting room, which is a really small room with a bed and a bunch of machinery, but there's only enough room for like, me, Hila, and like 2 other doctors. It's really small. So she's laying down, and I've got a little chair beside her. And we were in that room from 8 a.m. till 7 p.m. So 11 hours. Is that right?
That'd be 11, yeah.
Yeah, 11 hours. And I got to say, like, So the doctors came in and gave her the epidural about an hour or two in. And the epidural is this really crazy method. And it's, dude, I cannot endorse this enough. I mean, it was just magnificent how much it helped her. But it's like a pain drip that goes right into your spine. And so they bring an anesthesiologist. Did I say that right? Probably.
I think so, yeah.
Maybe. You guys know what I'm
Close
talking
enough.
about, though. And they put a long-ass needle in her freaking spine, directly into her spine.
Ooh. Were you able to watch them do that?
No, they said that they preferred that the husband takes a walk during that because they've had husbands like faint before.
Yeah, no, it sounds crazy intense.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I went and got was a cafeteria on the bottom floor. I went and got probably one of the worst sandwiches I've ever had. You know, they joke about airport food and plane food. I have to tell you, hospital food is probably the
worse.
apex of terrible cuisine. I have a picture, actually, of one of the meals we got. Let me pull it up since I'm on the topic. What do you guys think about this? Let me show you. This is egg. Bro, why is there no texture?
Looks good.
Why is there... Whoa, what the fuck?
Whoa!
Why is there no... What the hell? Why is there no texture? Do you see this?
Yeah, it looks...
What the hell is that?
It looks like a loaf.
Cheesecake.
It's like bread.
It looks like cheese, but it's just egg, but there's no freaking texture to it. It's the weirdest shit I ever saw.
Is that sausage on there?
It shouldn't be
I don't know.
flat.
Okay, this is weird. This is how it's working. But it's one of the most disgusting things I ever saw. And it tasted just as bad.
Yeah.
It looks like marble. There's no texture. I was impressed and disgusted both because I had never seen that technique before. Yeah, it was off. It was, yeah. So anyway, I'll get to all that good stuff in a second. So I took a while, came back, but they gave her the epidural, and then what it does, it's actually really cool because it completely numbs you pretty much from like the stomach down. And because it plugs into your spine, it doesn't affect the baby. It never goes into your bloodstream. So I don't know why a lot of people like not to get the epidural, and I'm not sure I fully understand why. I think there's a lot of myths that taking the epidural can make the labor process take longer.
Heard that, and don't people have fears, like you just said, that it'll affect the baby somehow, even though
it doesn't affect it doesn't go in the bloodstream, so it doesn't even go in the baby's body. So I guess the fear is that it can make labor longer. You know, I asked my doctor about that, and he said, well, that's not really true because the epidural makes you so much more calm that it pretty much cancels out any delay in labor that the numbness would cause, because the labor progresses along so much faster when you're calm and relaxed, that the baby is able to drop down and come out. But when you're tense up and you get super stressed, that slows down the process too. So he thinks it's a wash. It doesn't really slow it down in his opinion. But regardless, I would much rather Hila be comfortable and it take longer, you know. And it did, because right before she got the epidural, her contractions were getting more severe, and she was very an absolute champion about it. But she started from being like kind of agnostic about it, where when the contractions would come, she would like sit up, and she couldn't talk. You know, she'd be like a nurse would be in there talking to her, and she'd be like, she wouldn't be able to talk. You know, you could just tell that shit hurt so bad. And once she got the epidural, she was like able to sleep. I could see these crazy contractions on this chart, and she barely felt it. And I could tell these motherfuckers were huge, like super intense. I cannot imagine doing that process without the epidural. That would be unimaginably stressful and so difficult. So, I mean, I highly endorse the epidural, but obviously everybody does what they think is best, So whatever. Not judging how people give birth, but it was good for us. It worked for us. The other crazy thing is they had to give her a catheter because she's so numb she can't use her bladder. And that Ela said that was the worst part, is putting the catheter in. Because they put the epidural in and then they do the catheter right afterwards. But they don't really give the epidural enough time to come into effect. Because over the course of an hour, she became more and more numb. But the catheter was put in immediately afterwards. So if you go through the same thing, I would recommend tell them to give you an hour. Come back in an hour and then give me the catheter. A catheter is a tube that they jam up your urinary tract into your bladder. And it's not a thin tube either, let me tell you. I was shocked. This tube was like fucking fat, bro. It was a huge motherfucking tube. I was like, dude. Man, I've had friends who have had catheters up their dick hole. That sounds... No, anything but that, man. But it was also cool because she didn't for, the 15 hours we were, she had it in her. She didn't have to pee. I was like, that's amazing, kind of. I hate peeing. It's like my least favorite thing in the world. So just shove a tube up there and you're Goldie Hawn's, baby. So let me see. I've got all kinds of photos of her. So here's after the birth. This is her. Where is this? Oh, these are all after the birth. Yeah, I could have organized this better, but come on. I got no time. This is all the time I got is right here. I tried to work on this more to organize it, and it was like what little work I was able to put into this. Well, there's really no work to do other than organizing all the photos and videos better. But Ela was sleeping, and I had Theodore in my lap, and he was up crying all night. So he was sleeping, and it was just such a relief. So he was on my lap, on my chest. And so the most I could do is I had my phone in one hand, I wanted to work on my computer on this, so it was really hard to organize these photos and videos on a phone. But the most I could do was one thumb on the phone while Theodore slept on me. Sweet little guy. A treasured soul. All right. Where am I? What am I talking about?
Trying to find some pictures from pre-birth.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. God bless you. So there's a video here of Supermom gets her epidural. Catheter Nation. So let's do Supermom gets her epidural.
I like these titles.
Yeah. Here I am with Supermom. The absolute. So this is right after she got her epidural. And they have the oxygen mask on her because I guess Theodore's heart rate was getting kind of erratic. So they put oxygen. I think her breathing was strained for a little bit because she was still feeling pain and she was in so much discomfort from the catheter and the epidural at first that her breathing was strained. So you could actually see the baby's heart rate becoming erratic because he wasn't getting enough oxygen. So they put the mask on her to make sure the baby's getting enough oxygen. But it wasn't like an emergency or scary or anything. It was all standard procedure. So we weren't worried or anything. Legend. My hero, dude. The nurse said that they've never seen anybody so calm at this stage.
She said sometimes.
No, she said, I've never seen anyone this calm. Because when she came in, she was 5 centimeters dilated. And the nurse said most people are usually screaming in pain by now, but Ela was just chilling here. Like it ain't no thing. This is Supermom. But now we got her in the, what do you call it? Epidural.
Epidural?
Yeah. Got that oxygen mask on. Keep it fresh in there. How's it smell in there?
Not great.
Really?
Actually.
Can I get a hit of that?
You want?
No. Can I get a hit of that good oxygen, buddy? But she's crushing it. It's unbelievable. I mean, the first time baby's supposed to be like 48 hours. But we've only been here 3 hours, and the nurses are saying that she's almost ready to go. She's like fully dilated. You're a fucking super mom, a legend, and my hero, dude. Yeah. It is true. She's my hero after going through, like, I'm getting there. I guess I'm getting there, but, you know, when she actually went into the labor and room, so once you're, like, fully dilated and the doctor thinks it's time to deliver, they take you to another room, a much bigger room, with everything for delivering a baby, with the tools and the machines, and then there's like a little baby warmer station with lights and stuff for when the baby's born. And I wasn't sure what to expect, you know, because me and Eel were having this debate of like, oh well, should I look or should I not look at what's going on, you know? I thought there would be like a separation, like I'd be able to be with Elo or I'd be able to look on the doctor's side. But I thought, so, dude, they threw me in the frickin' trenches, bro, because Elo was on the table and there was 2 other nurses there, and they're like, Dad, you got to grab one of the legs. And so they removed that choice for me, and it's fine, by the way, because I was happy to be involved. But I mean, it was crazy because I saw every fucking thing, and I mean everything. But those details are coming next. I'm getting ahead of myself. But boy, I was fucking... It was crazy. I saw literally everything, okay? Damn. Where was I? So Supermom, she's amazing. She really is. She handled this whole thing so incredibly. We were just chilling in that room for like hella long, watching Judge Judy, Dr. Phil. I've never watched either of those shows, to be honest with you. And they were quite good. They were quite good.
Judy crushes it.
Judge Judy, she's
been doing this a long time.
Yeah. She doesn't take shit. That's Judge Judy. You know how much she's worth? Her show is like so syndicated. But you guys take a guess without looking. How much is Judge Judy worth?
Judge Judy, her personally, yeah, I mean probably.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna guess 40 mil.
Okay. Anyone else? Ian and Zach?
I know she gets paid a lot. She's got
Go
a
ahead,
high
Zach.
salary. I'm gonna say 200 million.
Alrighty.
Woo. Okay.
I have no idea. I don't
Make
know.
a guess. Play the game.
250.
She's worth 420 million.
Woo. God damn.
Making her one of the richest judges in the world. Well, no shit.
Well,
I don't think
would
judges
hope
are
so.
supposed to make that much
Yeah,
money.
Exactly.
Name another wealthy judge. I'll
Right.
fucking. Judge Jeff.
I hear Mike
Doug-
Judge does pretty well.
Yeah, he's the highest paid judge, and actually, he's probably nowhere close to her in wealth.
Yeah, probably not actually.
Dude, I would be scared to know of another judge making more money than her, and why?
Yep.
Well, she has so many reruns. That's
Yeah,
like-
exactly.
yeah.
She's syndicated in like every
Yeah.
fucking country. Like everybody cannot get enough of Judge Judy.
Yeah.
She's such a bitch, though. She's like, just like there. She always does this where one person's like, Your Honor, shut up. I'm talking. I was like, oh shit.
She still say baloney all the time? I haven't watched her in years.
I guess I'm not
So
versed enough.
that was like her catchphrase for a while there.
But it's just like small claims court, right?
Nothing's at stake.
Yeah. The show pays the payouts.
That's right.
How those shows work, yeah.
But it's legally binding. Well, okay, so anyway. Dr. Phil is a strange show, too, you guys. Like, did you know he walks off with his wife at the end of every episode? That tripped me out.
Wait, what?
His wife is in the audience in every episode, and then they join hands and walk off stage together.
What?
Fucking weird, man.
That is super weird.
Yeah. I was like, who's that lady?
Every episode?
Every episode, Dan.
That seems like a bizarre detail that I nobody ever brings that up. That's the first I've ever heard
They
of that.
join hands and they walk off stage.
He's another guy that's got a lot of money.
Phil?
Oh, yeah,
I don't
I
think
bet.
Phil's as rich as Judy. Dr. Phil.
Been doing it
Syndication
less
would-
time, but
400 million? You rich? Fuck. Holy God. He looks like a chipmunk, kind of, to be honest with y'all. Look at his face. He's got a face, huh? Anyway.
yeah.
yeah, entertaining stuff. So that was good. That passed the time. Hila was able to sleep with the epidural. I slept for a little bit. It was great. That was when my sleep deprivation started because I went to bed at like 3, woke up at 5, and I slept maybe an hour in that room. But the time passed fast, honestly. Like, we were comfortable, you know. Hila was comfortable. That's all I cared about. She was like in as good of a mood as you can be. I mean, you saw her. She was
She seemed like she's in incredibly
she
good
was
spirits.
chilling. Yeah. So the fact that she was comfortable and not in pain was such a relief to me. I was happy, you know. Everything was going great. So that went on. That went on until. Okay, so I'm getting to this point now. So that went on until about 7 p.m. And that's when the doctor came in and checked her, you know, cervix and was like, "You're fully dilated. You're ready to go." Her water hadn't broken yet, which is unusual at this point. So they were discussing maybe we should make the water break or they puncture it. But then the midwife was like, "Let's keep the water intact and we'll just go into labor and let it do its thing." So we go into the delivery room. Actually, here, I have another video about the delivery room. I'll show it to you guys because it's pretty crazy. Hang on. This is, Catheter Nation. We didn't watch that one. What is this one? Go ahead.
I still feel like I can't believe that there's gonna be a baby at the end of this.
Yeah,
it feels like.
I still don't understand that. Right here.
Yeah, it's surreal. It's absolutely fucking insane. And when Hila started going into like contractions at like 1 a.m. last night, right now it's like 11, and we came to the hospital, arrived about 8 a.m, and I was like, oh fuck, dude. I got so anxious because it's just like, you're waiting and waiting and you're waiting, and then, but so far it's been great, and Hila's just absolutely I mean, you're just amazing. Dude, you're my hero. I was saying Hila's like a silent sufferer. If I was on this bed instead of her right now, I would be screaming. I would be making everybody know that I'm suffering. But Hila's a trooper. She's a silent sufferer. Shout out to all the silent sufferers out there.
It's true.
Yeah, she's doing amazing. Fucking amazing. She's got like the IV. She's got a catheter in. Shout out to the Catheter Nation, right?
That was the worst part so far.
Catheter Nation?
And that's the baby's heartbeat.
Oh yeah, you can kind of hear
Here,
it. But
do I
it's the
show?
yellow
Oh yeah,
line,
so on the bottom there,
and then that white line.
that's really cool. So this is the baby's heart rate, and then on the bottom is I don't know how the hell they track the contractions. It's so interesting. But like, so you can see these are pretty intense, but then by the end they were going so intense that the line was flattening out at the top.
Damn.
And so she was starting to feel it then, but still not in pain. She was just like, I can feel that I'm having a strong contraction. But like at this point, she was pretty much writhing in pain. And I mean, I cannot imagine going through that experience without the epidural. Really.
All the contractions. So you see those big ass peaks there? That's every time that Hila goes into like a contraction, which is like a 8 or 9 on the pain scale. Fucking crazy. And that's the baby's heartbeat. You can kind of hear it going whoop, 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 whoop.
Such a legend she is.
The legend. All right, Theodore, we'll see you soon. You little punk.
Yeah, it's so weird. Everything happens so fast, kind of, you know? It's only been 3 days. He's 3 days old tonight at 9, and it's just...
Been a blur, huh?
It takes a minute to kind of... I think it's going to take me a couple weeks to really appreciate what actually is going on here. So, at any rate, let's take a quick break here, and we'll get into the actual labor part of this video. So, don't go away, guys. We'll be right back. Quip electric toothbrush is the toothbrush that will elevate your brushing to the next pinnacle, the apex of oral hygiene. It is a beautiful, vibrating tube with the softest bristles in the game fastened to the front of it. It starts at just $25, and you are going to get the quality of brush that you will find on a $200 BS electric toothbrush that has a battery pack the size of my head. Quip's got the softest bristles in the game. It's so gentle and light. It is beautiful on my gums. I'm obsessed with soft bristleheads. They've got that covered. It vibrates. It's got a beautiful pulsating vibrating here. And the best part is that it times out your brushing, and it pulsates to tell you when it's time to switch to the other side, so that you get a beautiful, perfect brush every time you brush, okay? And when it's time to switch it out, they'll send you a top. You pop off the top, you pop it back on, boom, it's a refill kit. I love Quip because it's the best toothbrush, pound for pound, the game has ever seen. Take it from me, someone who loves brushing their teeth, this is the one you've got to try. So it's why I love Quip, and it's why over 1 million healthy, beautiful mouths do as well. Starts at just $25 if you go to getquip.com/H3 right now, and you get your first refill pack for free. That's the top, the toothpaste for free, baby. Let's do this. Let's keep that mouth beautiful and clean. That's your first refill pack for free at getquip.com/H3. Hims is a wellness brand for men, and you've heard us talking about Hims and how they're helping guys look their best. You haven't yet. It's time to see what they're all about. Here's what we're dealing with. 66% of men start losing their hair by age 35. And once you've noticed thinning hair, it can be too late. Is that hairline slowly starting to move backwards? Are any bald spots appearing yet? The best way to prevent more hair loss is to do something about it while you have the same frickin' hair. It's time to get a handle on those precious, beautiful locks. Come on, huh? Who you kidding? I ask you, do you want a bald spot to pop up in your hair or your hairline to recede, or do you want to do something about it first? Well, why do guys turn to weird solutions or do nothing when you can turn to medicine and science? Forhims.com. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, skin care, sexual wellness for men. Thanks to science, baldness is now optional. Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed physicians and FDA-approved products to help treat their hair loss. This is not snake oil or gas station counter supplements. No, this is prescription solutions backed by science, people. With a capital S. Hims was created by a guy who knows some men's health conversions are easier online than in person because you don't have to go to an awkward in-person doctor visit or a long pharmacy line. For Hims connects you with real doctors online, which could save you hours and hundreds of dollars. It's completely confidential and discreet. So, order now. My listeners can get started with Hims' complete hair kit for just $5 today right now while supplies last and subject to doctor's approval. See the website for full details and safety information. This could cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or pharmacy elsewhere. So let's keep those beautiful locks in your head, huh? Come on, who you kidding, huh? Forget about it. So go to forhims.com/H3. That's FORHIMS.com/H3. Forhims.com/H3. Welcome back. So here we are in the delivery room. So when she was ready to go, they moved us to this bigger room, the delivery room. And here's a little video to show you kind of what it looks like.
Okay, here we go. We're in the delivery room. 11th hour. Hila is fully dilated. 100%. There's a little baby head.
She started getting a little emotional at this point because when they bring your ass in the delivery room, shit gets real. Because they're setting up like instruments. And there's a little baby warmer there. And, you know, the thought of going into labor is scary to anyone. And I think that Hila, the silent sufferer, was just kind of overwhelmed in this. I mean, not overwhelmed, but she's emotional. It's like, here we go. It's fucking scary. I mean, dude, you know, childbirth is a serious shit. Back in the day before modern science, like women and children used to regularly die in childbirth because, you know, it's a lot.
A lot of things can go wrong. Yeah.
Even when it goes right, it's a lot.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bleeding. There's cutting. The way that the baby comes out is totally crazy. There's the placenta that comes out. It's crazy, dude. It's a crazy, crazy thing. I don't know how nature ever came. How the fuck did nature come to the point where labor was like giving birth was something that could kill people? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell kind of way to evolve is that?
Well, humans are particularly terrible at it, right?
Yes, because our intelligence, I guess, the baby and the mom require so much care and protection. Like like a human baby is helpless for so long of its life compared to other animals who can fend for itself after like months or maybe 1 year in an extreme case. Whereas the human baby is in a nature setting, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's the intelligence because all of the energy goes to the brain. And so to develop that, the baby requires a lot of protection. So it's kind of a trade-off. Luckily, we have dominated this planet. We are the ultimate species. And so that's not a problem anymore. But back in the day, it was definitely a big trade-off. But anyway, she's just getting emotional, understandably, but she's handling it just so gracefully. I mean, she's such a legend, dude. She's seriously such a legend. And, dude, what women go through to give us children is, once you've seen it up close, you gotta, and then, even after she gives birth, she's got to do the breastfeeding, which is honestly, at times, even more challenging and stressful, especially at first. I've heard from a lot of women, Hila had trouble with it too, which I'll get into, but breastfeeding is a whole nother, stressful step. I think the breastfeeding itself was more stressful in many ways for Hila the first 2 days than the pregnancy itself, because being pregnant in a way is easy in that you don't have to do anything. It just happens, and then you go on the table. It's almost an inevitability, right? But breastfeeding is like, if the baby doesn't latch, you can feel like a failure. If the baby's not feeding well, if the baby's crying, it's like you have to do something about it. You have to figure it out. But pregnancy doesn't require anything to really figure out. You just kind of do it. So in a way, I think that figuring out shit can be more stressful and challenging mentally. And painful, too. Breastfeeding is extremely painful at first. Anyway, she's the best. So here we go.
They always go, oh yeah, I just put my hand in and I tickled his head. They're always talking about how they touched his head.
That's so weird.
Yeah, every time they would check her cervix to see how dilated it is, they're like, I can feel his head in there. I was like, what? His fucking head is right there. You can see her huge pregnant belly was starting to drop. So she had all this soft, empty space at the top. It was crazy.
And there's a cute little baby warmer here.
Yep.
Here's all the gadgets and everything. But Hila's continuing to be a fucking warrior, dude.
I was calling her
Look how
Xena
calm she is.
because she's a warrior princess. Anyone? Xena? Princess, warrior, princess?
Oh, yeah.
All
You
right.
got it.
Got him.
Ridiculous. And then, here, look. Theodore. So it's just a quick little update. But any words before showtime?
No. Just getting so emotional right now, really.
Of course, it's a big deal.
And
I was noticing how all the nurses around here, it's so routine for them and so extraordinary for us.
Yeah.
They delivered 3 other babies already today. It's just like boop, 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 boop. It's amazing. There's just such a strange job they have. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys next time with the baby. Okay, here
and
we
so
go.
also this is like the end of a super long day, the anticipation of this moment. And so when it finally comes to be, there's a lot of excitement and nervousness and emotions. So anyway, she's here. The nurse comes in at about, I'll say 8. And then we start pushing, you know. It's just her, the midwife, a nurse, and it was just me in there. And the midwife was like, "Go ahead and grab your wife's leg." The nurse was going to grab the other one, and I'm gonna, hike, whatever. I'm gonna be quarterback. So I didn't have a choice because me and Hila kept talking like, I'm gonna. Hila didn't want me to look. She really didn't even want me to see what was going on down there. So I thought I was just gonna be by her, like, okay, you got, no. I was in that bitch. So I had her leg, and the nurse had the other leg, and I mean, I can see everything. Now, let me say this, first of all, because for me, it wasn't that bad in that, like, I've seen dudes, like, passing out and gagging. I mean, everyone's different, but for me, I was glad I got to see it because it was crazy. I mean, Hila was the one experiencing it, so the least I could do is fucking see it. But so anyway, I was holding her leg up. So when she pushed, basically I was bracing her leg like the other nurse. But these nurses are so amazing. They're incredible. They're like so encouraging. So when she pushes, it's so hard. It's so tough. Like when she was pushing, I felt like I was pushing because it's like push. So you time it with the contractions. And so it's like you wait. And then when you see a contractions coming, the nurse is like, all right, push. Come on. One more. You got it. It's like they make her push for 10 seconds. So it's like one nurse counts to 10 and then the other's like, you got it. Come on. Push. And I'm holding it. I'm like, oh, I'm pushing. It's intense, dude. She's got her legs. She's bracing her legs like, this. And she's pushing. And like, that goes on for about an hour. And so eventually, so her water broke, by the way, when she started pushing. And it was fucking crazy. It was like out of a movie. Like their nurse was sitting there and she got like, it was splash zone. It came like, pfft, was wild. You don't, some things are like they are in the movies and some things aren't. I mean, in this case, it was like a splash zone. It was a crazy thing. I mean, we were all laughing because it was wild. The mood was fantastic in there, though, because the nurses were just so upbeat and caring and positive and encouraging. It was almost smiles, up until the last moment, which was like fucking intense. So she's pushing, and then all of a sudden, you could first of all see, dude. So it was fucking crazy. So the nurse, she was pushing, and the nurse, I mean, it's huge. Like again, it's not like the vagina is being blasted open. Like the body is expanding itself. That's what all these muscle contractions are, is that it's dilating it by 10 centimeters, which is a lot. So the opening gets quite enlarged. And the nurse is like jamming her whole hand in there. And like, so the baby's head is starting to come out and the nurse is like kind of making space. And they're pouring like bottles of lube in there to prevent tearing, I guess, lacerations. And so they keep pouring like bottles of mineral oil over the baby's head. And the baby starts coming out and you can see the tip of his head. He's got he's got a lot of black, like jet black hair. And the top of his head looked like a freaking meatball. Like it looked like a meatball. I was thinking in my head, like, I'm going to call him Meatball. I've been calling him Meatball. I was like, don't tell him why. Call him that. But his head looked like a damn matzo ball with black hair. It was crazy. I was like, whoa. So she's pushing and his head is coming out more and more and more. And eventually she's pushing over the course of an hour, pushing. And then once basically she's pushing so hard and for so long, you can tell it's such difficult work. And eventually the head is there's a point where the head is really just crowning out, it's just the tip. So she calls in all the doctors. She calls in like a pediatrician. She calls in a lung doctor. She calls in all these doctors. So when the baby's born, they immediately put him on the little baby thing and check his vitals and make sure he's healthy and everything. So all of a sudden, right before it happens, there's like 5 more people that come in the room. There's like a ton of people there. So it's like push, you know, push. She's killing herself. She's just trying so hard. And it feels like it's not happening, but the nurses are super encouraging. And it's just like push. And then the midwife is like, I might have to make a cut. There's a episiotomy, as they call it, when they cut the vagina open a little wider to accommodate. But she's like, I'm going to try not to do that. And so in the end, she didn't have to do it because Hila's such a warrior. So the head pops out completely. They pull the head out. I guess the hardest part is clearing the head past like the pelvic bone. And once you do that, it's home. It's basically just pops right out. So she clears the head out. And this to me was the craziest moment. And Hila didn't see it because she you know, I had the front row seat. Hila couldn't see anything. The head pops out, and he's huge, by the way. He's 9 pounds. He's fucking enormous. And when I saw him, my first thought was, how the fuck did that thing come out of her? He's huge. He's tall. I mean, he's tall, you know? And his shoulders were so broad. I think more broad than most babies, because when the midwife pulled him out, his shoulders actually did end up... Shredder, come on, give me a break, huh? Who are you kidding? Come on! What? Shredder, come on. Come on. Come on! He's raw! All right, good boy. So his shoulders did end up tearing her, and she did have to get stitches, but it seems minor. You know, the stitches dissolve. And she doesn't need to do any special anything for it, so it's fine. But so the head is popped out. All you see is the head. And so what the midwife does is she puts her hand on either side of the head, and she literally just pulls him out. She like pulls and twists him out. And his body, Shredder, you're ruining the moment. Come on. What? Get out. You dead. Who you kidding, huh? Come on! So she pulls the body out by the head. So she puts either hands on the side of the head. And she's got to yank pretty hard because his body stretches like a piece of gum. It was so crazy. This was the craziest thing I saw the whole day. She pulls his whole fucking body out, stretches his head, and his neck is just being, it looks like, he looks like she's going to kill him, but I mean, that's the way it's done. That's how they do it with every baby, because his neck is just, so she took him out. He came out, this huge fucking baby. And the umbilical cord is crazy. I didn't expect it. It's huge, gnarly looking thing. It's like a huge tube with all of these crazy veins and shit. And they take the baby and they immediately give it to Hila so she can see. And Hila's like hysterical. I mean, in a good way. She's just like, she's crying and she's laughing. And Theodore peed on her like immediately. Like they took out the baby. They put him on Hila, she's crying and hysterical, and he just starts peeing everywhere. And so we all started laughing because me and Hila were looking at each other and laughing because Theodore was literally peeing everywhere. All right, Shredder. Hang on. You got it? Who you kidding, Shredder? And she's just, I'm hysterical. I'm looking at Hila because I'm just worried about her, but she's crying. She's happy. She's hysterical. I'm tearing. I'm like, it's just waterworks. I'm crying. I'm laughing. I'm smiling. I'm worried all at the same time. So they put the baby on Hila. They clamped the umbilical cord. Hila's sitting there with the baby, you know. He immediately latched onto her breast, which was amazing. And they clamped the umbilical cord. They have me cut it. I'm taking pictures here. I've got a bunch of pictures I'll show you after this description. And then they bring him over to that little baby station you saw, and they're checking all of his vitals. And he's crying, you know. He's going ballistic. He doesn't know what's going on. Hold on one sec. Close the door. You know, you can only imagine how traumatic. No wonder we're all fucked up. Our moment of inception in this earth is the most traumatic thing ever. You come out of this warm, safe place, and it's just, there's bright lights. I can see him trying to open his eyes, and there's this really bright light on him so the doctors can see, but I can see, like, the light was just fucking his eyes up, you know? And I can see that he doesn't like bright lights still from, I don't know, I just really recall his eyes and just being blinded. And so they cut the umbilical cord, they clamp it, they're checking him, they're, you know, wiping him off because he's covered in blood and whatever, embryonic fluid, which his lungs are full of embryonic fluid for the first several hours too, which, so he's kind of like drowning in a way, almost in his own lungs and coughing up all this fluid. And then they give the baby back to Hila once he's all clean and checked out and he's healthy. Thank God. You're so worried. You know, I was following the Jimmy Kimmel thing because he recently had a son who came out with like this terrible heart disease, and they have to immediately perform open heart surgery on a newborn baby. Wow. And so, you know, there's a million things going through your head, and most of all, you're just praying for everyone to be healthy and fine. And he was, and I was just very relieved when they're like, he's fine. Everyone's fine. Hila's fine. The midwife is meanwhile stitching up Hila. Oh yeah, there was actually before that she delivered the placenta. So what's left of the umbilical cord, it's connected to the placenta, and it's fucking huge. She's pulling the umbilical cord out of her vagina, and then attached to it comes this huge placenta, dude. It is an organ, literally, but it looks like an organ. It looks like if you just took out my liver or heart or something, it just looks like an organ. It's just been pulled out of her vagina. It was this huge, crazy looking thing. Anyway, so they're stitching her up and the baby's fine. And they give her the baby and she's crying, like tears of joy. Like, I mean, just unbelievable. And I'm not a picture taker by any means. I have almost no pictures of anything, but man, I've been taking a lot of pictures, and I've been loving it. Taking the photos. What the hell is this? That's an old one. Of course, I closed the document with the photos. So let me open it. But I just started snapping photos because I thought, man, I need photos of this. And I look at them all the time now. Like they're amazing. Let me open this up. So the pictures kind of tell the story here. So this was basically right after, all these pictures are immediately after birth that I'm about to show you. I mean, like 1 or 2 minutes after he came into this world. So this is after they clipped the cord. You can see they have it clamped here. And they brought him over and weighed him. So this is like, a minute after he was born. You can see his weight. Oh, why is it doing that? It's distorting the photo when I try to zoom in. Yeah. So there he is. He's just the newborn baby. They're so fucking fragile, and they're so scared and pain and suffering and confused, but It's just surreal to see this little guy. So here she is. So this is before that photo, actually. This is literally the second after. And these photos are so powerful, in my opinion. Those tears of joy and the expression on her face with the baby there. I mean, it's like awe-inspiring, you know? He's got his little beanie on. He was just like, what the fuck? So this is after they weighed him. I'm on the other side now, and I can see his face. I feel like he's already grown in 3 days. I know it's weird, but he already looks different. He already looks more like human. Yeah, just look at this. I mean, it says it all. For me, this is like such a powerful photo. I mean, God, if a photo can say more than words, right? This is the one I posted. And dude, can we appreciate how beautiful Hila is? This is directly after giving birth. And Theodore's hand, all of his limbs are blue because the blood goes to like the vital organs. So his hands and his legs aren't being oxygenated yet, so they look like blue and lifeless. But they get colors very shortly. I mean, dude, Hila is killing it. Look at this Xena warrior princess over here. Such amazing. So amazing. So this kind of give you a longer view of what's going on here. She was attempting to breastfeed, and actually he latched right on, which was amazing. It's incredible, the instincts. Like, I mean, he's just born and he knows to suck. Something, man. This was when we were moved to. So once you're done with delivery and everything's good, after about 2 hours, they moved us to basically just a room, a hospital room where you can be with the baby. We were in this room for 2 days, breastfeeding, and the doctors were coming and checking his vitals, and all the doctor shit. And this was the first night. It's just so great. You know, they put a low jack. They put a tracking device on newborn babies' legs so that no one else can remove the baby but you.
It's good, I guess.
It's good, but I was like, what the hell? You know, the baby ward is so well protected. Like, the doors are locked and sealed, and they have to buzz you in. It's like a jewelry store, you know? I don't know who these fucking psychos are stealing babies, but apparently enough babies were stolen. Or mixed up, you know, you hear shit like that.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
So actually what was so awesome about Kaiser is that the baby never, ever leaves your side. The baby is with you at all times. They never, ever take it away from you. So, like, in the delivery room, the station's there. And then in the hospital room, there's a, what do you call it? Goddamn. Anyway, there's a little baby bed there. And you're with the baby all the time. And it's great. I love that. So this is the critter. Yeah, it's funny because I feel like he's already looking looking different. It's really something. There's the day one, like the fresh out of the womb baby is just so frail and so delicate. And even in a short 2 days, he's already kind of like, his skin is warmer and his features are more defined, and it's crazy. This is so cute. This, I think, was probably, oh my God, isn't he so cute?
Pretty adorable.
So you can see, this is kind of what I'm talking about. This was like more before we went home, and you can see his face is kind of already like shapened up a little bit. God, his face, he's just such a precious little guy. Look at that. Give me a break, huh? Who you kidding? Who you kidding, huh? Look at this, so cute. This is in the hospital room. And when he sleeps, it's like the best thing ever. He's just so sweet. And you feel so proud because he's just crying and you're checking his diaper and you're trying to burp him, or he's hungry, you're trying to breastfeed. But when he falls asleep, it's like you did everything right, you know? It's like a puzzle every time he cries. And so when he falls asleep, it's like level completed. But also, he's just so sweet, and, you know, you can really enjoy the moment of, like, having the baby because you're not all stressed out trying to figure out what he needs. It's amazing. Like last night, he slept with me for 4 hours, and it's just like, oh, the sweetest thing. He loves it. You know, it's funny how I see it because we would take ultrasounds of Theodore, and he had his hand by his head in the ultrasounds, and we noticed that he loves putting his hand by his head now, and it comforts him.
Huh.
But really, they love being wrapped up tight because in the womb, they're so tight up in there. And it's just funny because we, even as adults, love being wrapped up or being tucked in or, you know, having weighted blankets. And you can see, it all goes back to the fucking womb, dude. Because Theodore, like, when I'm trying to comfort him, he loves when I take his arms in his hands and just, like, press it against his body and kind of just nuzzle him, you know. But with newborns, you do this thing where you wrap the blanket tightly around them so they feel like they're in the womb, you know. They love that. But when he's sleeping, it's the sweetest thing ever. So amazing. This is Hila, loving that he's sleeping. Why is this one not loading? Cute. Look, so this is what I'm talking about. The bassinet is what it's called. Cute-ass. This was my proud dad moment where Hila needed to sleep and I was staying up and watching Theodore and I got him to sleep. And this was my proud dad moment with both of them sleeping for the first time. Little do you know that he started crying hysterically 1 minute later, but the picture itself...
Doesn't matter. Got the proof right there.
Exactly. I got the picture. And then this was the cutest shit ever.
Yeah, that's
so they
pretty good.
say the baby's not supposed to sleep with you because if you fall asleep and he rolls over, it can be dangerous to the baby. But I was staying up with them, so I said, go to sleep and I'll watch and make sure he's fine. So Hila was able to fall asleep with Theodore and cuddle with him, and which you're not supposed to do, but I was watching, so it was fine. And it was just the sweetest shit ever. Like, they fell asleep like this. It was so fucking amazing. Look at this shit. I was just, oh my God. Look at him with his little hand. Look
Rocking
at
the beanie.
Look at his little hand. Fuck. So amazing, this picture. So freaking cute. Look at her shoulder. What's going on here? Hey, it's just an angle. Look at that.
You got a little shimmy.
Look at this. I love the two of them like that. So cute. It's hard. Why did I take the photos lengthwise? What am I, stupid? It's hard to capture the whole, but he's just sleeping in her arms, and it's just ridiculous. Come on. Who you kidding, huh?
Forget about it.
Raw. He's the rawest of the raw.
That he is.
Yeah, I took a lot of pictures of this. I was just loving it. Look at this. Come on. Come on. He's like a little gever. In Hebrew, gever means guy. So I say he's a little gever. In Hebrew, you could say like, eze gever, what a guy. Like, it means the same thing in English. What a guy, you know, like. So he's a gever. Look at his little arm. Oh, so then this was the breakfast. I was just like, what the fuck? And Hila had this unbelievable craving for meat. And the hospital food was so bad. There was a McDonald's really close to the hospital. Hila ate a fucking quarter pounder with cheese 3 days in a row.
Whoa, what?
I was like, McDonald's? She wanted McDonald's. That's all she wanted.
That is very out of character.
She beast moded a quarter pound. She's craving meat. I don't know. She wants me to cook steak tonight, so she's low on iron, the doctor
Yeah,
said.
right.
So it's kind of a weird, interesting thing that her body is at the same time craving meat. I can't get over this thing.
That's truly nasty. I wouldn't have ever guessed that was eggs.
I didn't either until I tasted it.
Yeah.
Because I picked it up. It's super heavy. And man.
It's like a brick of egg. Gross.
Okay, so then the other question was like, how did Shredder do? So that's kind of the next part, the epilogue of the story, if you will. So I captured, let me find this video. So we watched this one. Oh, there's this kind of, just to show you, they gave him a bath of warm water. This was his first bath, and only bath. Probably bathe him tonight.
You want to touch the water? So you're not
Nice and warm.
Nice and warm.
Yeah. Not too hot. Not too hot and not too.
His lip quivers when he gets really upset.
Aw.
And it's just like, yeah,
I know.
poor guy. But he chills right away once he's comfortable. He can go from like 100 to 0, like
Instantly, right?
yeah, pretty much. It's hard. The thing about like raising a newborn baby, I think that's important to remember, is not to panic. Because just because he's hysterically crying, don't let it, panic you. You got to take your time sometimes, and do the job right. Because just because he's panicking and going hysterical doesn't mean that he's not fine. And the moment you get him wrapped up and finished, he's like perfectly happy again. So
Well, he's only got that one note, right? You know?
well, he's not. He's got like a there's a scale.
There's a scale of the
There's a
cry?
scale of hysteria.
Okay.
For sure. That's like maxed out, what you just saw.
Right.
So we've got Shredder meets Theodore. So we long suspected that Shredder knew Hila was pregnant because as she was progressing through pregnancy, he became more and more defensive over her. At times even barking at me when I would approach the bed at night.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here he is meeting Theodore for the first time.
Right. He hadn't seen her in a few days at this point, right?
Yeah, he was with my parents for 2 days. We literally just got home. So, well, we went in and said hi first. So this is all baby. Look at him.
You can sniff. You can sniff. Is that your family member? Is that your brother? Oh my gosh. Smell it. What is that?
Hey, Shredder. Yes.
Okay. Okay, come here. Shreddy. You got me all twisted. Is he sleeping? Yeah, he's sleeping. Come here. You want to say hi? Come here, buddy. Calm down. Nice.
Oh, he wants to say hi to you. What is this little human being? He was sleeping so peacefully, so.
Oh, it's okay. Wait till Teddy's old enough to
little
push
brother.
Shredder around.
Are you a big
What is
brother
that?
now?
Does that smell wonderful? Look at that. Look at that gorgeous baby.
Hi.
What is that?
Calm down. It's okay.
Oh my goodness. Shredder, you're one big family.
Look, there's a little person there, Shred.
Oh my gosh.
There's a little person there. What the heck is that?
It's good. What? I'm not an only child anymore. What the heck?
So he was very eager to say hi. And here's a part 2 here.
Maybe come from here, where my mom is.
My mom, of course, didn't push the record button, as I expected.
Perfect. Oh, that's the cutest shit I've ever fucking
Well,
seen.
it tastes good.
Fuck.
It tastes good.
That's your brother, Shred. That's your little brother.
Wait till.
Dogs are so good with babies. It's
Teddy's-
bizarre.
So,
Falling
dude,
around
so, okay, this was his
in
first
diaper.
moment when he was super excited. But let me show you these photos because he has been so sweet. Like, he has not left the baby's side since since we got home. And when Theodore cries, like he gets so worried and he just wants to help and he starts like licking his feet and stuff. Like for example, this is how he was laying last night.
Yeah,
he's literally cuddled with Theodore on Hila's lap, and he just won't leave her side. It's the cutest shit. It's so precious. Do you see this? They're like lying parallel. I mean, I'm so proud of little Shred. This is how they were sleeping last night. Shredder's watching over. Come on, who you kidding, huh?
Who you kidding?
This is how Theodore was sleeping in my lap last night. Look at this. This is me last night till fucking 4 a.m. when Hila woke up and took over. And then she woke me up at 7 a.m. too. Theodore at a frickin' 10 chaos scale had a crazy huge poop. She needed my help changing, and she definitely needed that. Those poops, those newborn poops are so crazy. It's like black tar because Hila's not lactating it. She'll probably get her milk in today. So he has like natural reserves in his body that he's consuming, and the poop that it produces is like black tar.
Yikes.
And it's sticky and unbelievable, and it was a huge one this morning. So that was my wake up. This was proud dad moment. Baby, Shredder, mom.
Boom.
Who you kidding? Oh, this was the first moment I held him. This was in the delivery room. It was like a rocking chair, and he fell asleep. And it was very, very incredible. Wow, he looks so cute there. There's the guy. We gave him the pacifier at first because he was latching well, but then because he was starting to have trouble latching, we took the pacifier away because you don't want him to get used to the pacifier or start to prefer it, because he loves that thing, man. Like, you put it in him, he's happy as a clam. But if he becomes dependent on it, it can cause trouble with Hila latching, and that's the ultimate worst thing. You don't want to do that. So we're trying to hold off on the pacifier until the feeding gets down. Cute, so cute. His face is just so cute. Little onesie, cool beanie.
Looking pretty dope there. Look at that.
God. Look at him. That's how they love it. He's wrapped up like a freaking mummy. He's looks like a mummified baby. But he loves that. That's his most peaceful state. So I think that's everything. I think that's everything.
That covers it.
Let me see what else I got here. Oh, I want to say for the record that Hila did not shit herself.
Hey!
I know we had spoken a lot about that. We had expressed concerns about that. Oh, Shreddy, it's all right. She did not poop herself. So just going on the record and stating here. Overall, the experience for us was really a positive one. It wasn't really that bad. It was really intense and scary during the point of labor, just because it's so nerve-wracking. But overall, it was a really great experience, and I think the faculty at Kaiser Permanente made it a lot better. Made it so good. It was incredible. I would have if we have more babies, I'll have it there without hesitation. Unbelievable, so amazing. But overall, it was a fantastic experience, and I'm just so grateful to Hila for being super mom and for everything she's gone through. Dude. I don't know what, it's just nature. Listen, I tell her all the time, listen, if I could trade places with you, it's so easy to say, I would totally trade places with you. I joke with her about it. Listen, if I could, I would. No, but for whatever reason, nature not fucked over, let's say. Nature charged our females with this sacred duty. So we have to cherish that sacred duty. And so, and Father's Day is coming up. I get my first Father's Day, man.
That's right. It's a couple weeks, right?
people keep asking me if I want to do anything for Father's Day. It's like, bro, first of all, I've been a dad for like 3 days, so I think it's a little presumptuous to already be celebrating Father's Day. And then second of all, what better, way to celebrate? I just want to be at home with the family, dude.
Sure.
That's Father's Day. Shit. Yeah, let's go celebrate Father's Day. Let's go out to the bar and leave mom and the baby. No, it's a family day. Well, that's about it. I don't really plan on talking about anything more today. I just wanted to keep it, to the point, keep it short, and get back home to the Bubba and Hila.
Yeah.
I got to go get groceries and cook some steak for her. She's craving filet mignon, so you boys got to do it to them.
Bet you're feeling pretty good about that.
We're going to eat mashed potatoes. We're going to eat filet mignon and broccoli. That's the dream meal. Go ahead. What is it? It's raw. Do I have that one? You have got one that's
the rawest of the raw. It's
Zach?
in there. Hit him with the rawest of the raw. Oh no, maybe just the regular.
Let me hit y'all with these.
Where you kidding, huh? Come on!
Do we have raw?
You're the one and only, huh? No introduction for you. Slam on them with the regular schmegula, huh?
All right. I guess we don't have the raw, so the raw.
We'll line up the raw for next time.
Come on!
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about it. I'll be back, I gotta bring it to you guys, the roast every week. I'll be back next Friday, probably by myself, doing a more regular episode. But I'm keeping them brief just so I can get back to the family. But happy to share it with you guys, and happy to share it while it's still fresh in my mind. And I've got all these beautiful, wonderful pictures and videos to draw from to really pull from memory. But overall, the experience has been so surreal. You got this baby. It's only been 3 days, and like I said, it's gonna take me some time to really realize what we're dealing with. But for now, it's just my focus on supporting Hila, making sure she's got everything she needs and she's comfortable, and taking care of the baby so she can sleep. After he feeds, I try to put him to sleep so she can sleep, and that's we're pretty much taking time off right now. So we're gonna be
well deserved.
Yeah, we'll probably be away. I'm gonna pop in here on Fridays and do the show. I have another video that basically is 90% done when Hila started going to labor, so I'm probably gonna finish that this weekend and just pop it up there. And then take a break for several weeks at least. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I mean, the support we received was just incredible. I'm happy to see babies are just this miracle. They bring so much joy into the world. Just exiting the hallway or exiting the hospital, going to the car to bring Theodore home. I thought walking around with Shredder was crazy with how everyone's obsessed with how cute. But when we were there with Theodore, literally everyone was just like, "Oh, congratulations!" Yeah, because there's a lot of traffic at the Kaiser Center, and it was just like we won a competition or something. People were practically just clapping. Everyone stopped what they were doing, just started clapping. Man, when we walk around with Theodore and Shredder, it's going to be crazy. I'm pulling my eyebrow hairs out. Sorry. There's a super long one here right now. I'm trying to yank out.
Come on!
But he's amazing. I mean, he's amazing. The first week has got to be the toughest. The hardest night for us was probably the first night in the hospital room, because it's so scary. You're alone with the baby. You don't know what to do. You're trying to breastfeed. It's really hard. It's really painful for Hila. That was such a long night. I mean, we didn't sleep at all. Hila slept a little bit, and I stayed watch. He's supposed to be sleeping 16 hours a day, but he's just been crying a lot, so he's been underslept and then I think overstimulated, which makes it harder for him to sleep. So, I mean, it's been tough. It's been challenging, but it's been beautiful. And it's going to get easier over the next couple of weeks, I'm sure. But what can you say? You know, it's a crazy thing. Epidural. Get the epidural. That's my advice to expecting mothers. Really.
Big come away.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's about it. I'm a dad now, so
Hey, Big Papa.
I got to deal with some
Papa
shit.
bless.
I got to go deal with some shit now. All right? Capiche? Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for all the well wishes and the, all the beautiful, all the nice words and all the support and all the kindness. I mean, you guys are incredible, gracious, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing this joy with us. I'm thrilled. I mean, the fact that I've got a healthy baby boy, I've got a healthy baby mom who handled it beautifully, that's the biggest blessing in the world. That's the Father's Day gift that any of us could ask for. It's so scary that, something can happen, but he was fine. God bless. I'm so sleepy. My eyes are starting to close.
Let's get you out of here then.
Little wake-up call. All right, so I'll see you next week, guys. And I guess stay tuned this weekend for a new vid, which is going to be just, I'm out, I'm going to do it, and I'm out. I'm going to have to sneak in when Theodore's sleeping. I've got like an hour of editing left, seriously. Just have to put music in. It's a good video, too. I think you guys will enjoy it.
Can't wait.
Forget about it, huh?
Forget about it.
So we'll see you next Friday, guys. Thank you all. Love you. Appreciate you. Ta-ta for now. See you then.
Bye.